So today I'd just like to touch on channeling and what that is. I've just spent an hour online researching the difference between psychics, channelers, mediums, intuitives, and I'm totally confused. So I thought, forget going into the details and all that, I'll just tell you what I do personally. I'm not a fan of labels anymore, and I just find they can be so limiting in describing what we do and how we see ourselves in the world. I didn't always feel this way. It's definitely become a stronger thing for me over the past probably 5 years, and I would have to say that's just part of raising your awareness, raising your vibration, your frequency. I think words can become quite limiting in some respects. So while we still have to communicate this way, maybe in the future that will change, I've chosen to use the word channeler for the work that I'm doing. So what does that mean to me? As a channeler, I feel that you consciously allow yourself to become a vehicle for messages from the ether to come through. That, although the first time that happens, that may not be such a conscious choice. Beyond that, you, I guess, gain control over that skill or opening, and then you can obviously not choose, but control what comes through. For me, it's just sort of like plugging into electrical power point and turning on the switch, and then you can turn off the switch and out you go. It's not something that is constantly in my mind every minute of the day. For some people, they channel one specific energy. That isn't the case for me. I seem to vary quite a lot. Sometimes I'm given names, other times I'm given origins. Often they're galactic in nature. Sometimes they're more of a universal feeling or energy, and other times I just have no idea. And that's that whole part of labeling, so we won't go there. I'm not someone that channels dead relatives. I'm not that type of channel, and I think they're more commonly associated with the term medium anyway. My guidance is very much, my guidance comes through from a written and a verbal form. And just to explain that, I sort of hear the words or the messages as I'm writing or speaking, but I don't usually have a strong, I have an idea of the theme of, or a vague idea of what's come through, but I couldn't tell you verbatim what was actually said. So it's always exciting for me to read back over, what has come through, and or listen back over to that for myself. I amaze myself sometimes, and I know I don't have control over that, so I'm not taking credit. But the information that normally comes through for me is more about human emotion, about how we interact, how we grow, global topics, and I guess like the awakening of a new way of being. So how does that all translate into the type of personal readings I do? I'd say that the personal truth readings that I offer are not what I would call typical psychic readings. It's not to say that there's not elements of future potential that do come through, but they're very much about you as a person and your current state of growth, hidden emotions, blockages, shadows, things that are going right in your life, things that might be going wrong. But it's more about stuff that you might not be consciously aware of that could be impacting your ability to move forward or to grow or to make decisions. So when I do a reading, just to explain how that works, I close my eyes and go into a semi-meditative state, and I connect or merge into your energy, and that will present to me as a coloured triangle, and then I sort of merge that with my own form. The message then just streams in from there, and I write it down. I then disconnect, and that's by visually watching that triangle leave and go back into the ether, so that I don't hold your form or your energy. Everyone's energies come through with a very different feeling, and some feel like they're more a higher perspective or a higher self version of the person that I'm doing the reading for, where others, it will feel more like I've tapped into, I guess, their guide or a helper type energy. And that's always interesting for me to feel the difference. It correlates quite a lot with the type of wordings that seem to come through for the different messages, so that's interesting for me to see. I've got no control over the message or the wording that comes through. And I know from experience that it can take people a number of read-throughs of their messages to really understand those and absorb what is coming through, because some of the wording can be quite elaborate at times, or it can be quite coded, I'd say. So that's just a bit about, I guess, what I do and how I see channeling from my perspective, and I guess what you can expect if you were to book a reading as well. So essentially, the readings give you a few clues on what to focus on, but then they will not tell you how, like, the answer. You have to do the work. So I think that's a really important distinction to make. I think people that go to psychics and expect an answer of, you know, who's the next boyfriend, or how many months have I got left at this job, etc., are handing over their control, and that's not how spirit or energy works. You are in full control of your being, and as such, you have to make those decisions for yourself. Guidance can be given, but from my perspective and what I bring through, you're never going to get 100% answer. You'll get guided, or you'll get a little taste, maybe a little push in the right direction, but you're never going to be, the choice is never going to be taken from you. That is your power, and that's part of experiencing life on this earth. Okay, I will chat to you later.